I think that's Donnie on Twitch. He's kind of hiding inside these builds here. This is a scary one as Nate, Leo, and Ved here are looking to press in. Remember, they did find some success in the previous battle before getting taken out, but no, they're finding everything that they need now. That's going to be the second elimination follow-up, which is massive, right? It means more in the early game because the siphon, the materials, right, this really sets you up for success.
With a big, I think, charged shotgun shot, so looking like he's going to have a good game on top of a good season as Nexi comes through as well, trying to find this angle, and he does, takes down Haji. Now, Haji was one of those teams that was contesting at Sweaty Sands, trying to take down Clix's team early on last week in the scrims, but looks like he's left it, and I'm thinking if Misty doesn't go his way, we could very easily see that team go back over to Sweaty.
So even more information going into the favor of Owen and Sunny. This is looking very, very dicey for Mars, OW, and company, who are in a box fight right now. Mars is going to get tagged big time, and no, the third-party shots come in, and Threats is also stepping up from the mountaintop as well. So it's not looking good at all, and just like that, all of a sudden, the table has been turned. Nico, aggressive, great box fighter, is going to step up and walk right through two of them and find the siphons as well.
Controlling the builds and the pieces around a fight, so all it's going to take is maybe one of these trios to step on a floor that they built earlier. They get the edit, because right now this is just box fighting through and through. They're finding the angles. Nico on the back foot here drops a bounce pad. Don't know if that was a misclick, and he's kind of stuck just bouncing up and down now as they're going to come through and get the finish, and probably going to try and go for a max damage finish or the shakedown. If you guys don't follow Fortnite too much, you don't know this mechanic. What just happened there was Nico has now been shaken down or shook down, so Pandosh is now going to be marked on the map. That team can now see where he is, so he can't hide anymore. He can't go behind the builds. He can't run. They know exactly where he's going, and they're running for him.
100%, and that last game showed that they also have the formula, the answer to the equations when it comes down to that late game as well, because they were back there, they were tunneling their way through the kings of the low ground. But now a battle going down here. Bizzle's on the outside of it, Illis is on the left, and Clix is on the right. This is a straight up old-fashioned angle out, and yes, they're gonna find Tragics. It's gonna be 3 headshots from Bizzle, one of which that he is so happy for, you best believe it here now, because it's setting them up for the big dive in. And now look, they get to scoop up all that sweet loot, and of course get the big siphon as well. That's so much just momentum going in their favor for endgame.
Bizzle's team isn't contested as Sweaty, so they need damage, and that's what they're going to find right here. Illiston Clicks hunting this one down, and so is Bizzle. One of the scariest teams to have on you right now going for this. Is Illist falls, though. Never mind, they might be able to do something about this. Illist falls and gets finished. That's a big blow for them. Even if they win this fight now, they have to manage to go and reboot Illist, which is going to take some time. The closest reboot van being Holly, but you can see a team on it, so they close out the fight, they get the loot, but is it going to be worth losing a teammate for it, Monster? As Boogie Jamper and Avery have a nice little base here to just get these burst shots through with Skittles Falls, team that we had so much hope for here today with Ronaldo and Sway, seeming like they're struggling a little bit today, but it's all experience. If this team's going to stay together, remember, you have today as the qualifiers. Today and tomorrow, top 12 games, are the qualifiers. The top 15 teams are going to go through, but there is consistency. If they play consistently in all 3 weeks, they can still qualify as Ronaldo goes through and tries to fall back down onto this fight, and it's a scrappy one, Monster.
Yeah, it's not looking too good, and they're under the storm surge effects. That's why this fight is being forced right now, and it's not looking too good for them. They're going to get quickly wrapped up here now, and that's the power of having a team full of burst rifles. You saw what the legendary burst rifle could do right there.
Because they're going a mythic drop, everyone's talking about how good they are once they get those mythic items, but this team, with the consistency they've had at World Cup and so many other situations, they are so good at playing from behind. So if any team can now win from what I don't have to tell you looks like a terrible situation, as the wheels get shot out, and unfortunately they flip, they're gonna have to take this fight onto Taken. So Hard and Taken's team still being a thorn in this team's side, causing so many issues for Zayt, Saf, and Stretch. So even if he doesn't win this fight, they had a chance to get back in this game. I don't know now, Monster. They're in storm for even longer. We see that Zayt got damaged here. Stretch is incredibly low. Saf doesn't have that much health. I'm seeing no med kit in Zayt's back pocket, but there's the bandy cannon. That might be enough to get them in.
Yeah, now it's like a pick and choose, right? How do you decide what you want to take? Zayt's going to be forced to leave behind 6 minis. That's something you know he wants in the inventory, but now he cannot because they need this bandaged bazooka. That might be the difference maker for the crew right there. I think they're going to force Saf to fall down here, probably get the revive to pick him back up so he can have 30 HP. That's a sound strategy in this situation, but all in all, overall, still very unfortunate for them. And yeah, Stretch is just dancing. I don't think he cares either. Yeah, it looks like it's all over.
And that's
They're gonna
the
have
thing,
to
though.
leave
They're going to
someone
want to
behind.
qualify, and it's going to be a strategy. It's what you're going to see. This first week is one of the most crucial, important weeks to qualify. With the way these qualifiers work, where if we got Zay doing a bit of a free build practice here, if you already qualify out of week 1, you're allowed to play the preceding weeks, but your qualification spot will just go down to consistency points if you've already qualified twice. But what it means is, let's say Zayt's team qualifies this week and Heart's team doesn't. You better believe Zayt is going to give that team such a hard time every time they drop, because they want to make sure that they don't get into the grand finals. They want to strategically control their drop.
Heart and Takens, they weren't there in game 1. They only came after game 2 and now game 3. So definitely big red flags in the air thrown around for that one. But here's a fight that's going down right now. Bizzo and Clix is a 2-man team looking to jump in. Clix is going to find the shots that he needs, and he takes out 5Jex here with the quick follow-up. Little drop kick into the box, and now he's got all the goodies to go ahead and bounce back. But there are only 2. Yeah, this is one of those situations where being in shambles, there's, only a few special kind of players that can operate here. But, oh, wait a second. Looks like they were sitting on a little bit of a loot pile, so it is going to work out. At least the elims weren't for nothing. They are going to be able to bounce back, but a team's going to bounce in to the box here and take them out. And now Pam goes down. Artsy goes down as well, and Carry is left by himself. Remember, as the Clix fight was happening and as Clix was finding those frags, I did see Carry in the feed finding his elimination. So it seems like some kind of exchange happened here, and it was the Xset boys that the skirmish was going down with. So a little reset now, but also a punish back for both. On the other side, Jack and Acorn as a 2-man team once again are left to find something and make something of the game.
Really well. Nanolight recently signed to Ghost. We have Fernando recently signed to TSM. 3 players making a big name for themselves. They get crash padded down. Kelk, Macwood, and Zexo in a terrible position as they walk forward. Macwood and Zexo has fallen, and it's Jacques that got both those eliminations, Monster. Those are big points on the board, as Nano and Sebi are going to get the finishes, though, but the points are going to go over to your boys, and we'll have to see. This is a very congested little edge here, as Sebi's team still only has 1 point on the board, and as this elimination, as Calc takes down Ved, but Nate takes down Calc, so the TSM, Zexo, Calc, and Macwood are out of this game.
When they're a player down, Slacks not being in the equation. 2 games now. Aussie, 2 games, Slacks has fallen. So it has been up to Jock and Acorn to do big things. Last game, they did that. Just within shambles. They still found the frags and, squirmed their way to the very end. You saw Acorn for a second. I remember you gasped because he fell in the storm line, but he was there. He made it all the way to that final zone.
He did, and that's what it is. Sometimes as a solo, it's easy to make those kind of rotations and just kind of, rat your way through the old builders. We have Avery going aggressive here up on a Kanata's team. This is Bucky, Creo, and Kanata who are getting taken out right now by Avery, Booger, and Jamper again. Another team who know each other very well. Booger and Kanata having quite a history too, as they now have the high ground position with first rotating behind them. That is going to go further up that mountain elevation, I believe. No, it's going down. So this is going to be a really interesting zone to see how it plays out. It's going down and then back up the mountain. So Booger, Avery, and Jamp are in the best position possible. Having high ground going up a mountain so you can just control everything and get the eliminations is going to be huge. This is what it looks like when you have a team with uncontested mythic drop and then the final zone goes to their mythic drop. They have every advantage, but can they capitalize?
And remember this, coming in, they were in the 3rd place spot. So they are up there. They're very much in the game right now. Bucky's going to jump up, but this anti-shockwave base that they have set up, this hold that they have set up, is not going to be enough. And you can see as things kind of catch up here that Bucky's going to be in a world of trouble. Yes, Avery's going to be able to hold it down on the high ground. He has just enough layers between themselves and between Booger and Jamper to give him all the comfortability in the world and know that he is safe up top. Not only that, he has heavy materials, so as this continues to tick on, it's going to have more and more HP, making it that much harder to break down. I think it's safe to say that he is free to hold high ground for quite some time now and put that infinite pressure down.
Yeah, and Carey just went down in the feed, a player who just caused all kind of troubles. I saw him take down one of Clix. I think he took down Clix for that team. He took down Shark, so he was kind of making his way through and causing some big impacts as Shark takes down Carey. Finally, they must have got him back up, and Avery takes down N-Pen. A really solid shot, and I'm trying to keep my eyes out for Voil's team. Do we have our first place somewhere on the low ground, keeping up their consistency? Are they down there somewhere? I have to imagine with their consistency they are, but Avery taking that high ground dominant position, as we do have AJ, Vix, we have Creo still alive down there as well. We have Pamstow, so many big names, but a lot of names we haven't seen on the leaderboard so far, Monster. We have Sebi, Nano, and Fernando trying to get their way into this. They had 0 points coming into this game, and Jacques has fallen on the low ground.
Yeah, and it gets converted onto now as Sebi follows up here too, so he's gonna find Strobe as well. Remember, these guys here have not done much in the last 2 games, but this third one is all of a sudden changing the momentum. They're trying to change narrative here. They want these points. They need these points more than just about anyone out there because they were so far behind on the leaderboard. Let's see now though, as Sebi's trying to scramble on in. That was a little bit of a refresher, but not enough to stay up on high ground. They're gonna have to default to the low ground, and now this is where things get really chest to chest here, and it's all about hitting your shots. And yes, Sebi's gonna find the 4th elimination now as the feed is lighting up.
We have 6 teams alive, 11 players. So right now there are a couple of trios. So this trio has a big advantage. We have Jamper, Booger up there right now, Avery as well. So their full trio is going to come down to what we saw last game. It is surely going to be a high ground versus low, but no, it's dropping off the builds. This is where every team has to be so smart. The mobility comes out, the shockwave negates the fall damage. Sebi comes down, shotgun out, AR takes down Vix, gets the elimination. We have 3 teams left now. We have almost 3 trios fighting this one out as Booger and Avery have to make their way down off this mountain. Avery hits the shockwave, Booger falls down. It's a 2v2 situation right now. Sebi takes down Booger with the fall damage. Can Avery do it? Can Avery back something up here? He's in the corner. Nano and Sebi push forward, and no, they went from 0 points, I believe, Monster, to a 37 eliminate. They have 8 eliminations and the win. This team was seriously struggling coming into this game, and they managed to pick up the dub.
Let's take a look together. Jamper, Booga, Avery holding down that #1 spot. So do keep in mind, we saw Booga and Avery there toward the end. That's still 2nd place. It's a ton of points, right? And that's why you're finding them here in 1st place. We got Bucky, team here in 2nd. Now, we don't see